Alrighty, beautiful people. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how I went from Best Buy, DoorDash, Instacart, working at a golf course, being a busboy at a Middle Eastern restaurant, being a barber, being a car detailer, to now making over 6 figures a month consistently through day trading. So a couple of videos ago, like 2 videos ago, you guys saw me make $55,000 in a day. And at that point in time, I was up $75,000 for the month. Now, fast forward a week later, I'm now above $100,000 in profit from trading alone, which is pretty crazy to say. I made basically another 25 racks from crypto leverage trading throughout that week time frame, which I'll show you guys proof of all that on the screen. You guys should be seeing that right now. But basically, the plan for this video is just to tell you guys my journey, what I went through to get here, how I got here, what steps I took, any advice I can possibly give you guys to help you guys out. Because I remember when I was on my come up, no one really gave good advice as they do now today. So I kind of want to just give you guys the best possible advice I would give my younger self who was starting off, who was scared of making it, and who just didn't know who to look for. So anyways, let's get straight into it. So how I got into trading was pretty unique. So my biological dad and mom, they split up at a young age. I moved with my mom. Obviously, I was with my mom. And then fast forward, obviously, I still maintained a relationship with my biological dad. We would talk, and we still talk. But at 12 and a half, he would like introduce me into trading. He was like, hey, if you want to start making money, this is like a really good career path. You can trade stocks. And at this time, bro, I'm 12 and a half years old. You know what I mean? I don't even like people at this time are still playing like Call of Duty. You know what I mean? So like, I'm just like a stupid little kid. And I'm just like, what are you even talking about right now? Sure, I'll look at it. And obviously, like any young kid, the way that it works is like you immediately get dopamine from seeing candlesticks move up and down. And it's a bunch of crazy stuff. So 12 and a half, I'm literally at this time, I have like maybe $100 in a Robinhood account. I'm looking at the charts on Robinhood. Literally, it was line graphs. You know what I mean? I wasn't even looking on TradingView at this time. I was literally just looking at the options on Robinhood and just doing what I felt like. Like, oh, I just felt like the market's going to come down today. And like I would be just trading random companies options. Like it would be like literally just fully random companies options. It would be like Google, Apple, these types of companies, just buying options on Google and Apple. And then also the S&P, like SPY options. And as you guys know how that obviously went, it went terrible. So that was from like 12 to around 14, right? From like 12 and a half to 14, 14 and a half. That age group, I would literally just be going on Robinhood, trading options like that. And then also, I would be buying meme coins, or not meme coins, but crypto coins that were basically at that time meme coins. You know, during that time, Doge was around. You had Solana, you had Bitcoin, Ethereum. These prices of these coins was like sub 10, 20K Bitcoin, sub 1,000 Ethereum. I literally remember, I think I have a screenshot of like ETH at like $300 or $400, something crazy like that, basically. So like it was a mix of options. And then like on the weekends, I would just buy crypto and like swing it for like 2% and then make like $2 because I only had like $100. And obviously you guys know how that went. That just went terrible. But during this time, I built a real passion for trading. You know, like I was sitting there and I was like, dude, I love this. I love the fact that I could be anywhere. I could be in my room and just make money, you know? And like, that was so unique to me. And then one trade really put the nail in the coffin for me, and really awoke in me. For my birthday, I remember I got like $1,500 through birthday presents because I had a huge birthday party where I invited every single person in my middle school, basically. Like every single person in my middle school was there, and every person was giving me like $30, $50, and there was like over probably 30, 40, 50 people. So I got like $1,000. I deposited into a Robinhood account, and I was trading Litecoin. If you guys remember LTC, the ticker was LTC, like Litecoin, LTC. And I entered a position, I swung Litecoin and it moved 10%. It was when like ETH, Bitcoin, and like everything started to take off. And I remember making like $120 on that position. I'm like, holy shit. Like I literally just made $120. Like, oh my God. Like, and that specific moment was what really set the tone for me for saying like, all right, I need to figure this out. I need to make this work, you know? So with that money, I ended up blowing it all, as you guys would expect. I got it up to like probably like $1,500, and then I just started buying terrible options, and they would just expire, and it was just terrible. It would just basically go to zero. After that, time frame on this now is like 14 and a half, 15, 15 and a half. This is right around when I was getting into high school. I was able to work now. My first ever job was a Middle Eastern restaurant busboy. So I worked at this Middle Eastern restaurant, and I was a busboy there. I would clean up the dishes, and I would do the dishes. And I remember that being my first job was the most terrible thing on the planet. I literally hated it so much because the way that like Middle Eastern restaurants, if you guys know what like a kebab is, obviously majority of you guys do, or like shawarma, they had these like shawarma plates, right? Where like this, where they like the huge pieces of meat, right? That just go around in a circle. And there would be like gunk of meat just sitting there. And I remember vividly, I was at that job. I was making like $11 an hour. They were paying me cash under the table because I wasn't like at the proper legal age. And I remember like I would just be cleaning that meat off of that metal plate. And I'm like, bro, I hate this. Like, there's no way. Like, how do people do this for the rest of their life? And at that moment, I'm so grateful that I worked that job specifically and hated it, because it made me realize like there's no way in hell I can do this for the rest of my life. Like, there's no way on God's green earth I could work this job for the rest of my life. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to do it. So I ended up quitting that job. I think I worked that job for like 2 months around. And I remember I would come home every single day and I would be soaked in water because when you're doing dishes, obviously you get a bunch of water on you, and I would hate it. I'd hate everything about it. And during this time, you kind of start getting conscious about like life and how the world works and everything. So I realized, I was like, yo, I'm going into high school like soon, like in the next year. I got to start making money. I got to start doing good, because if I don't want to go to college, which my plan wasn't going to college in the first place, I wanted to figure it out. I always had this thing internally inside me that was like, bro, there's no way I go down like just working a regular job for the rest of my life. Like, I want to be my own boss. Another huge driving factor with me was cars. You know, like I would see people in like crazy ass cars, and I'd be like I want that. You know, I also live in like a relatively nice area, so you see money. You know what I mean? I'm in LA, so like you see money around you. You see people in nice things, and it's like, why can't I get those things? You know what I mean? Like, why does this person have a really nice car and I can't get a nice car? And yeah, so fast forward, I'm in high school now. I quit that job. My second ever job was working at a country club, and I was the like golf boy guy, basically, or the golf cart guy, I guess you could say. I would stock water bottles in the golf carts. And during this time, 15 around, I started getting into ICT concepts and smart money concepts as a whole. That's when the rise of it really started to happen. This was around like 2019, around there, 2020, in that general range, like a little bit pre-COVID. That's when ICT as a whole really started blowing up. It wasn't really ICT back then. It was called just smart money concepts. And yeah, I was like, okay, there's liquidity here, there's this high here and this high there. And I would map out all highs, and I'd wait for price to come up, sweep the high, sweep the low. And at this time, I finally got TradingView. I started getting well versed with like technical analysis, how it all worked. And then from there, I was still trading options. I would be working these jobs, and anytime I would get my paycheck, the entire paycheck amount would be like $400 to $800 would just get deposited in my Robinhood account. I'd be trading options, specifically SPY options. So I would look at SPY's chart and I would be like, okay, well, we have this liquidity sweep here. The weird part about SPY and QQQ is it's not like the same, like it's similar movement to like NQ, yes, obviously, but it's not like exactly the same. So like we could do random shit sometimes and I would get stopped out and I'd be like, why didn't this work? And I was still eating shit at this time, basically. Like from age 14, 15, 15 and a half, I was still eating shit. I just could not figure it out. Didn't know what was happening. Now, fast forward, I'm now 16. At 16, I started to work at, or sorry, not work at, but I started to become a barber. My older brother at the time was a barber. So he was like, yo, bro, I'm making good money. Like, you should learn how to cut people's hair, bro. Like, you have all these people around you. There's a bunch of money around you. LA barbers get paid a lot. you should learn how to become a barber. You should learn how to cut people's hair. And I was like, okay, well, that actually sounds good. And my dad gave me, my stepdad gave me, I think it was like $200 to buy a bunch of barbering equipment. I had no money at this time. And I was in high school. So I got barbering equipment. I started cutting people's hair in high school. Anyone who needed a haircut, I had a whole Instagram page for it. Literally anyone who needed a haircut, I was like, yo, hit me up if you need a haircut. And it was convenient because I would drive to their house. So at this time I was 16. I also got my first car, which is a BMW 528. The front bumper came off. The engine was in limp mode constantly, and the car was like basically, God, there was smoke coming out of the engine bay. It was just a terrible car, terrible car. And at this time, I would be driving my broken ass car to people's houses to be able to basically cut their hair. So that is also simultaneously when I found out what funded accounts were, right? Like, this is the new age of where funded accounts started to come about. You had companies like Apex, right? And that's the first ever funded account I ever bought, was a Apex 50K funded account. And I was like, wait, you could trade NQ? What's NQ? And like, people were explaining to me, NQ is basically QQQ, but it's a futures contract. And I was like, wait, what's a futures contract? And it's like, it's a contract that it's like leveraged, and there's a bunch of math behind it and stuff. I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I learned what funded accounts were. I'm like, okay, well, these funded accounts are like $50. You know what I mean? Apex at the time was like, I think like $30 for evals when they were like 90% off. So I was like, wait, it's $30? And I don't have to put up any of my money. I can stack all my money. So I was making good money at this time for being a barber, like a freelance barber at a young age. I was probably making anywhere from like $800 to $1,500 a month. So I had no savings. My money management was terrible at this time because I would love to eat out. So I was making that money. I was cutting people's hair. Business would be slow at times. It would be good. I'd be just fucking around with my homies because I was in high school. And then sophomore year of high school is when I really started to lock in. That was freshman year where I started cutting people's hair. I had my car, I would drive around, do all the things. Now coming into sophomore year of high school, I really started to lock in because I realized, okay, well, people are starting to prepare for college. You know what I mean? Like, they're starting to get their grades up and they're starting to do a bunch of shit because they're going to college in like a year and a half. Like, okay, I don't want to go to college. Like, that's what I was telling myself. I was telling my mom this. I was telling my stepdad this. I was telling everyone. It's like, I don't want to go to college. I don't want to do it. Like, I want to make a lot of money and I want to figure out, I want to be a businessman. And I don't want to go down college. I don't want to go to the college route. And everyone at this time was like, you don't know what you're talking about. You have no money. You're an idiot. And I always had inside of me, for some reason, like, I was always like an extremely stubborn person. So like, whenever someone would tell me something like, you can or can't do this, I'd be like, fuck you. I'll decide what I want to do. And this trait specifically helped me out so much because if I was the person that was like extremely, I don't even know the word, the extremely like accepting person, I guess you could say, of saying like, okay, you're right, I should stop. I don't think I would have gotten to where I am today. But it just pissed me off. Like, my mom would say like, no, you need to go to college. You need to go and get a job. You need to get a career. And everyone around me, uncles, aunts, grandparents, everyone, you need to go down the route. And I was like, fuck the route. I don't want to do that. That's like terrible. I've worked all these jobs. I understand how this is. I don't want to do this, you know? So this is sophomore year. During this time, I also got a job at Best Buy. And I was doing everything in my power at this time. So my first ever Apex account, I got really lucky with. I bought the challenge, I passed the challenge, and then from there, I got the balance up really fast, and I got hit with the beginner's luck, I guess you can call it. The easiest way to put it is the beginner's luck. I started just like, I literally didn't even know contract sizing, so I was trading ES, and I was just going 5 minis during Asia, and I was just trading, and I would literally target like 10 points trading 5 mini contracts, and I would make like $1,000. I'm like, holy shit, I just made $1,000. Like, how can I just do this every single day? How can I figure this out? So I didn't have a strategy at this time yet. It's still kind of like ICT, supply and demand. It's just a bunch of things that I just mashed up with discretion over the years. And I was just trying to figure it out, you know? And then fast forward, I grew the account to $27,000 in profit. And this was all luck based. You know what I mean? There was some discretion involved, but it was primarily all luck based. So I'm sitting there. I'm sophomore in high school right now. I have $27,000 in an Apex account. I'm like, yo, like I have fucking money. You know what I mean? I have $27,000 right now. Like, bro, I can go buy a new car. I can do this with the money. I can do a bunch of things with this money. Like you guys would expect it to happen. I was able to secure 2 payouts from Apex, which is nice, for like $2,000 each. After I requested the second payout and it got paid out, it was either an NFP or a CPI, I can't remember, but I was up really late at night. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning at my time. I was trading Asia. I was up like $1,000 at this time, and then I took another position, and I swung it. I went to bed, right, and I forgot that I was in the position. I was so tired, fell asleep. I was trading on NinjaTrader, the Apex accounts with NinjaTrader, and it was either a CPI or NFP, something. My stop loss did not get filled, so the account was in profit, but I was also trading like 5 ES contracts, and we had like a CPI or NFP that moved the market up like a couple hundred points. And I was just sitting there, and I woke up and I was like, okay, well, let me check on the account. Did I hit stop loss or did I hit take profit? I checked the account. When you log in, and there was like a little connection feed at the top for NinjaTrader with Apex accounts, the connection wasn't showing up. Like, it wasn't saying Apex. And I was like, oh, that's probably a bug or something. So I exit out NinjaTrader. I open up NinjaTrader back again. I go, it's still not there. And I'm like, what? So I immediately contact support. I contact Apex support. And then from there, when the account refreshed that night, it was like 5 p.m. my time, the account balance refreshed on Apex's website, the dashboard. It said like blown, like it said the account balance blown. And then after that, Apex got back to me, their customer service, and were like, yeah, sorry, your account is breached. Basically, it's blown. And I'm sitting there, and for years and years of struggling, trying to figure this out, and finally having some sense of success, I blew it all. It was all gone. I blew it all. I quit my job at Best Buy because I had this $27,000 in this account. I thought I was Mr. Macho, and I blew the account. And this was sophomore year going into junior year. At this time, it was around like June. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I just struggled for years and years and years, and I just blew $27,000 in a night. And from there, I went into like severe depression for like 2 weeks. I just hated my life. I hated everything about it. I was like, fuck this shit. All these people around me. This is when like people started to start getting cars in my age group, and there I live in like a nice area, and all these people's parents were like extremely wealthy, so they were getting these crazy ass cars. Like one of my friends got an M340, which is like a $60,000 car. Another one of my friends had like an M5. This girl that I know also got an M5. Her parents were like fucking billionaires basically. And I'm sitting there with my broken ass car that was like literally smoke coming out of it, front bumper coming off, blown $27,000. And then I see all these people around me having fun, having their parents' credit card with infinite money on it to be able to purchase whatever they want. And then I'm sitting there with my broken ass car, and I'm like, bro, like, what the fuck is life? You know what I mean? I just grinded for the last years. I blew everything. All my grades I barely passed sophomore year. All my grades were shit. I definitely wasn't getting into any colleges that were like prestigious. And I'm like, what the fuck should I do? On top of this, my mom was kind of stressing me out because she was like worried about me and my grades, to the point where she was like, please stop trading, like quit trading. It's not good for you. And I don't blame her, because the obvious intent for a mother is to protect you. You know what I mean? Like, so my mom and everyone around me was like, please just stop trading and just focus on school and get a good degree. And I don't blame them, but that stubbornness inside me made me even go harder. I was like, no, like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to figure trading out. So at this point in time, it was like summer of sophomore year. I just kind of took a break for all of summer, from sophomore year going into junior year. And I was like, yeah, fuck, like, we kind of came back to school, and I was still broke, and I still was like, fuck trading. I don't want to trade anymore. Or at least I was taking a break, but eventually I knew I was going to come back to trading. This is like August, September of like junior year of high school. life and reality started to kick back, because during summer, at least, you didn't really need to have money because you're at home. You can eat food at home, right? You don't have to get lunch. Like the way that it worked is they let you off campus for lunch during my junior year and senior year, so you could go out and get Chipotle with your friends or whatever. I didn't have money for any of that. At the same time, I didn't have a job, so I was like, what the fuck do I do? You know what I mean? I'm in junior year, college, and people are getting ready to go to college end of next year. What the hell am I supposed to do? Like, how am I supposed to figure this out? So I had no money. I had no job at this point. August, September, October of junior year, reality started kicking back because expenses started kicking back. Like you have gas for your car. Like, how do you pay for gas? And I was just getting by, bro. Like have like $200, and I make that stretch out for like 2 or 3 weeks because I didn't have any like real life expenses, but I still had like I had to buy food and like pay for gas for my car, like books for school, stuff like that. And obviously my parents would help me out here and there. Like if I really needed something, like for example, I needed a textbook and I had no money in my bank account, they would obviously support me with like $30 for the textbook or $50, $100. But like in terms of like baseline life expenses, they're like, no, like it's not honorable for us to give you money. And I respect them so fucking much for that, because if they didn't do that and they didn't treat me that way, and they treated me in a way of saying like, hey, we'll cover your life, don't worry about it, just focus on school, here's a credit card, then I probably would be shit out of luck and I would not have the amount of money I have now. So at this time, I was like, all right, what do I know how to do? I'm like, okay, well, some of my guy friends, if you guys have ever seen in my vlogs, his name's Arya. He was a car detailer at this time. So he would detail cars. He would be washing cars and shit. And I was like, okay, well, I'm a barber. I know how to cut hair. But also Arya is making good money. Arya was making like $1,000, $2,000 a month. I also had another friend. His name's Ricky. He was also washing cars at this time. And I was like, okay, well, let me start getting into like car detailing. Let's see if I can do any of this stuff. That immediately flopped. Like I like had a little bit of motivation for car detailing for like a month, maybe. Bought like all the equipment for like $50 off Facebook Marketplace. Then that flopped. You know what I mean? I gave up on that because I was just like, fuck my life. I hate my life right now. And this was like the darkest moment of my life, because at this point in time, this is where like girls started to realize they want dudes with a little bit of money. You know what I mean? Dudes that can like take them out to dinners and shit. So I'm sitting here, I have no girl wants to talk to me. I had like a mid physique, like terrible, terrible. Like I had man boobs. I had severe acne. Like the acne on my face was terrible. My car didn't operate properly, so I was scared to even pick up a girl in my car, because I was like, bro, like my car's in limp mode and it smokes. Like there would be sometimes carbon monoxide coming out of the vents from my car. So like I would be sitting there and I'll be like, bro, I don't want to even pick up a girl in my car, you know? And then I was like, okay, well, like, what do I know how to do? I know how to cut hair. Went back to cutting hair. Went back to start making like $500 to $1,000 a month. And I then from there started getting into, this is when Top Step started to come around. Trade of 8 funded accounts. Top Step it was. And we also had obviously Apex. I was buying Apex accounts. I was still blowing. And then I heard about Top Step and I started hearing about other firms. I started trading Top Step. I started trading other funded firms. And I started seeing consistency. You know, I got my first payout with Top Step. And I started seeing a little bit of consistency. Not to the point of like extremely profitable, but enough, you know? So there was Top Step, also Take Profit Trader. Take Profit Trader was the firm that I made the most amount of money with during this time. And still to this day, I've made the most amount of money with Take Profit Trader. So junior year in high school, so this was around, I'm 20 and a half now. This was around what, I believe like 3 years ago, around there, something around there. So I'm trading Take Profit Trader accounts in high school, and I'm still fucking up here and there. I'm seeing a little bit of consistency. I would pass my funded account, but then blow it after because I had bad emotions. And then fast forward into like summer of junior year, going into senior year, I had a Take Profit Trader account, and they have daily payouts. So I had them, and this was around like a year and a half, basically 2 years ago. I had the Take Profit Trader account. I'm figuring out everything. I'm kind of getting in the groove with everything. I start making like $1,000 payout here, $2,000 payout there, blow the account, buy another 50K, pass it, start getting $1,000 payout here, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. And then from there, I really started to understand the system of everything. This is also when more resources really started to come about, right? Forex was huge at this point. Futures trading started to become really popular. People were talking about like journaling, forward testing, psychology, how to improve on these things. So there was all these resources. ICT started to become extremely advanced. At this point in time, I was trading like the 2022 ICT model, right? So 2022 ICT model, that's when he released that. It was like liquidity sweep, break a structure, fair value gap, enter off the fair value gap. Really started seeing consistency. I had some Apex accounts. I had some take profit trader accounts. Was starting to make like $2,000, 4,000, 5,000, 7,000. And then senior years when I had my first 10K month. And when I had my first 10K month, simultaneously while I was trading, my friend Aria, he also started a marketing agency. So he got big into SMMA. So I was having these months where I would make like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, 5,000, 7,000, right? And it was fluctuating between that. Some months I would make no money, and I wouldn't be making any money, and I would blow some accounts, so I would be net negative, like $1,000, $2,000 on the month. So it was inconsistent, but I was still making a good amount of money to be able to float above water, basically. That's kind of how that worked. And then Ari was telling me like, bro, why don't you start a marketing agency and then trade at the same time? So this was like late senior year, basically. I was about to graduate. He was telling me about marketing agency. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna start this marketing agency. Let's start this marketing agency. Within 2 weeks, I closed my first client. He was paying me like $2K a month. It was like something like that. He churned after the first month. Like he left. He stopped paying me money after the first month because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and he didn't want to pay me more money, obviously. But the moment that happened, I had the marketing agency and I had trading at the same time, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely not going to college. So I closed my first client with the marketing agency. At this time, I was also doing 2 to 4 to 6K a month trading, upwards of my best month being 10K a month. And I was trying to figure it all out. Like I was like kind of getting in the groove with everything. Fast forward after all of that, and after the end of all of that, I got to 10K a month through my marketing agency at the end of senior year. So it was like, I want to say like around March was like when I closed my first client. And then April, May, June, around June, when I was graduating senior year, I started getting those 10K months with SMMA. And I figured it out. I was like, okay, perfect timing. Like this is when people go to college. I told my mom what I was doing. I told my stepdad what I was doing. I'm like, look, I have this marketing agency. I hit multiple 10K months with the marketing agency. I'm also trading. I have some money coming in from trading. And they were like, okay, well, sure, you're making over like 100 grand a year now. If you don't want to go to college, sure. But they were still kind of like it was this weird thing because it was like, they were like, yes, go to college, but like if it grows more, then you can stop going to college, basically. So I enrolled into community college. It was like August at this time after I graduated. I was still making good money. I was making like 10K a month, 15 if trading went well. I was like semi-profitable. And I had my big month, and the first day from community college, I walked into classroom straight up out of a movie, literally walked into the classroom. And I was like, I looked around, I saw everyone just being like dead. And I was like, bro, fuck this. All these people around me looked depressed and sad, and like they were just all bummy. And I was like, I'm never going back. I literally got up out of my desk after I sat down for like 5 minutes. The teacher started giving the lecture, and it was like a classroom setting because it was a small community college. I literally got up out of my chair and I told the teacher, the professor, I was like, I'm in the wrong class. And like the entire class laughed. It was straight out of a movie. I was like, what the fuck? I walked out. I told myself I'm never going back there ever again. So I didn't really immediately want to tell my parents that like I'm just not going. So I just kind of bullshitted it. And what I told them was like, hey, I'm going to just do online classes. Like there's no point of me going in person. I don't need to go in person. And they were like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Just do it online. They didn't know I signed up for the online classes, but I wasn't doing that shit at all whatsoever. I didn't do a single piece of homework, didn't do a single assignment, grades drop rapidly. And I was like, yeah, fuck this. I'm not doing this. That's when I really focused. That's when I really dialed in on the process of everything. The marketing agency was doing like 10, 15, 20K a month. My best month ever with the marketing agency was 25K. Trading was also doing like 5, 10, 15, 20. I was getting up to those numbers, those thresholds. And then basically from 2024 to 2025 was just consistent growth. Like with everything, it was just growing month after month, and after month, I was seeing progressive growth. I was on a hot streak. My trading was so dialed in. I was journaling every single day. My psychology was so good. I understood myself more. I understood how to trade properly. Everything was just clicking for me. It was so good, and it was such a euphoric year for me. Started traveling. I went to Miami with my friends because Arya and a couple of his roommates that I'm still friends with to this day, they went and moved to Miami together. So I went out to Miami. I stayed with them for a week. We had fun. We did a little bit of shopping, and life felt good. Everything clicked, and I was so grateful in that moment. I was like, it was so surreal, like there's really nothing like hitting your first like 10, 20, 30K months. Like that nothing will compare to that. Like, you know what I mean? Like I make 100K with my businesses combined and everything is upwards of 150, 175. But nothing compared to those times where I was making like 10K a month. It was such a crazy change. And like life started just working and everything was blessed. And I finally told my parents, I'm like, I'm not going to college. I'm making all this money. Showed them my bank account. They saw the money in my bank account. They were like, holy shit. And yeah, it was awesome. So 2024 to 2025 was just that growth. And then 2025 started. It was like late 2024. It was like November, December in that general range. I kind of fell out of love with the whole marketing agency. I was making good money, but I fell out of love because with the marketing agency specifically, you kind of get capped. Like you can't really grow the marketing agency after certain benchmarks like 10, 15, 20K a month. So I kind of got capped and I was like, look, I went through hell and back trading. My trading's really dialed in now. I'm making a good amount of money. I kind of want to start posting on social media. Like, I feel like that's my next endeavor. Like, I want to start helping people. And then from there, from 2025, we're now in September of 2025. So for like the last, basically since January to now, been posting and grew my personal brand, grew my Discord community, helped hundreds of people get to profitability at this point. Did a couple of in-person events where I had some of my students pull up on me. And yeah, bro, that's basically the journey. That's how I got to where I am. And it was hell and back, like during those times when I was working DoorDash, Instacart, Best Buy, golf course, busboy at the Middle Eastern restaurant. I hated my life, and I didn't think I was going to get to where I am now. And it happened all so fast, like it was like from 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16 and a half, 4.5 years just eating shit. And then at the span of like randomly, like I saw a little bit of success, fell off, and then build myself back up. Didn't see immediate money, but saw a little bit of consistency. Started doing a little bit more every single day, and then boom. From there, it's just like fucking infinite scaling, And now fast forward, I'm only 20. I'm only 20 and a half. I turned 21 in June, so I'm now making over $1 million a year at 20 years old. And it's surreal, bro. It's really surreal. And it's crazy. It's like shit makes me want to kind of like tear up right now. I don't want to look like a bitch on camera in front of you guys, but yeah, that's just how it went. That's how life went. And I've impacted so many lives at this point. Hundreds of people have gotten to profitability. I've grown the Discord community. My personal trading's dialed in. To this month, made $100,000 just solely off of trading. And that's the journey, bro. That's what I had to go through to get here. And majority of people don't have to go through what I have gone through to get to where they want to get to. Not saying that. I'm not saying like you guys need to fucking eat shit for years and years, but for some of you guys that will happen and that will be the reality. So my best advice, bro, is like you got to just learn to embrace the shit no matter how hard it gets in life. I understand how difficult it is, like I really do. I understand not having any money. I understand using your last $10 to put gas in your car to make it back home. I understand not having money to eat out with your homies when you're all out at dinner and you're like, you have to fucking get a bottle of or a glass of water and that's it. I understand these individual events. And some of you guys obviously have it much worse. Some of you guys are watching this from like a third world country right now, or some of you guys don't have your family around. Some of you guys can't get a job, like I understand some of you guys do have it worse, but what you need to understand is no matter how difficult it gets, no matter how hard your life is, no matter the things that you go through in your life, you gotta just keep moving forward. Like that's the true blueprint. Like it's so funny because people would say this shit all the time. Like when I was broke, people would always say like, you gotta just keep working hard and you're gonna make it. And I'm be like, bro, I don't want to fucking hear this advice. It's such shit advice. But now that I really have made it, I understand why people said that. Because the reality is you literally just have a pile of shit in front of you called life. You know, then that's just a fat pile of shit. And you gotta just keep eating it. You gotta keep eating the pile of shit called life up until one day you can afford to stop eating the pile of shit of life. You know, you just worked hard to the point where all that hard work just equivalated to success, and you grew rapidly and you did everything in your power that you know you should have. And then it just all works out, you know, and like trusting God and trying your genuine best, no matter what you're going through and how much you're struggling and how sad your life is. Everything, bro. You just need to keep pushing, bro. You just need to keep working and keep pushing and trying your genuine best, because you never know, certain things happen in your life that God plans. You meet a certain person, you have an individual conversation that changes your life forever. Imagine if I never got introduced to funded accounts, you know, like imagine I was still to this day trading options, just blowing accounts, but I got introduced to funded accounts. My biological dad called me up one day and he was like, yo, there's these things where you buy an account for like 30 bucks, 40 bucks, and you can start trading it. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's probably a scam. He was like, no, it's legit. Got off the phone with him, did some research. I'm like, damn, this guy's talking actually truth. Like, let me take a look at what this is. And it all happened, bro. And like these individual conversations, how do you know if they're gonna happen or if they're not gonna happen? The only way you know is by showing up every single day and trying your genuine best every single day, because you're gonna have one of those days where you just get lucky and something goes right. And as long as you're able to thug it the fuck out and bear all the pain and trials and tribulations that you have to go through in order to wait for that one moment to happen, that one individual conversation just happens and everything changes forever, you know? And it's going to hit you so fast. Your life is going to completely 180 so fast to the point where it's like, holy shit, like I just woke up from a dream and now I'm making all this money and I now have this car and I'm traveling here and these people know me and I'm now well respected, and these girls from high school that never even looked my way are hitting me up, and I'm now the man, and now I have this physique and I'm working out, I'm trying my best, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Like it's so fast, bro. But like, to be honest with you, obviously what provides true happiness is God, but then second is just that progression in all avenues of life. You know what I mean? That's what we really do this shit for. That's what this entire thing called life is worth living for, you know? So if no one believes in you, bro, I do. I know every single person's capable of getting to what I've gotten to. I just tried longer and harder than majority of people, you know? If you guys can just keep thugging it out, you're going to get that one lucky moment, and that lucky moment will change your life forever. Just keep working, bro. Like literally every single day, no matter how the fucking hard it gets, no matter what shit you're going through, just keep working every single day, bro. Every single day of the week, keep trying your genuine best. No matter how much fear you have in your bones right now of making it, no matter who's telling you what you're capable of, your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother saying, you can't do this, you can't do that. Fuck them all. Prove them all wrong. You are capable. I promise you, you are capable. You just got to work really hard, try your genuine best, and keep working. I promise you, bro. I promise. If you just show up every day, you genuinely try your best, you will end up making it. I can't stress that enough. But yeah, man. If you guys made it to the end of this video, you guys are some real ass motherfuckers. But yeah, this is a long ass video. It's like a 40-minute long video, but yeah, bro, that's my life. That's my story. That's how I got to where I'm at now. And yeah, bro, I'm really rooting for you, bro. I really, really want to see all the people that watch me consistently succeed. That's one of my biggest goals in life. And yeah, man, if no one believes in you, I do. I'm rooting for you. I love you guys so much. You guys don't really, I never even met you watching this video right now, but I want to tell you, I really do love you, bro. And I really do hope the genuine best for you and genuinely wish greatness upon you to be able to achieve what I've done. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.